Good morning, good morning. Welcome, Nigeria. Of course, yes, you're watching Galaxy Television. My name is Rose Blossom, and of course, you're welcome to Family and Values. You know what we talk about: marriage, relationship, dating, health. However it comes, we just want to give you the right information at the same time, educate you, and of course it's promising to be very, very interesting. You're welcome to the show. Remember, we're streaming on all our social media platforms at Galaxy Television, on Facebook and on Twitter, so you can watch us live. Also, if you're on the move, you're not in front of a TV and you want to follow us, you can actually download Galaxy Television app from Google Play Store and Apple Play Store. You don't want to miss any of our live sections because it's always promising to be very interesting. Running through from now till 1 o'clock, we have live programs that are very interesting and very catchy, so you don't want to miss it. Okay, I have two guests in the house today that will be talking about domestic violence and abusive marriage, also relationship. We're going to talk about it from the man aspect, from the woman aspect, from going over to the children, however it comes, everything. We're just going to be discussing that, and we have experts in the house. But of course, before I unveil my guest, as usual, I will go for a mini feature, which is an introduction proper to have a primary understanding or primary introduction of what we'll be talking about today. So you can follow up, you can catch up with us as we discuss. So after the short break, which is a mini feature, we'll be right back into the studio to continue our discussion, of course, and to meet our guest. Take it away.
Violence and abusive relationship. Domestic violence, also known as family violence, is when someone uses violence or manipulation to maintain power and control over someone they are close to. It can involve violence, intimidation, threat, insult, or psychological manipulation. This abuse may involve a partner or ex-partner, a carer or guardian, a family member, or anyone who is in close contact with another person. Anyone, regardless of their background, sex, or gender, can find themselves in an abusive relationship. Abusive relationships do not always involve physical violence. There are other kinds of damage and abuse, none of which are acceptable. The abuser can be of any gender. We have physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, psychological or emotional abuse, social isolation, financial abuse, spiritual abuse, child abuse, neglect, and elder abuse. Domestic violence can affect anyone in the community. This is regardless of their level of income, status, sex, gender, age, race, or culture. Most victims are women and children, and most perpetrators are male. The risk of domestic violence is highest around the time of a relationship breakdown. Other risk factors include pregnancy and alcohol or drug addiction affecting the victim or perpetrator. Women with a history of mental illness and Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people are more likely to experience domestic violence. Certain types of injuries can act as warning signs that a person may be a victim of domestic violence. They lose their confidence or are more quiet than usual. They seem afraid of their partner. They have stopped seeing their friends or family. Their partners often criticize them, humiliate them, order them about, or make all the decisions. They often talk about their partner's bad temper or jealousy. They have physical injuries like bruises, broken bones, sprains, or cuts. Their children seem afraid of the person or show withdrawn or anxious behavior. If you are affected by domestic violence, you can feel scared or anxious, have trouble sleeping, have trouble concentrating, lose self-confidence, and feel isolated. You might find yourself changing your behavior or avoiding certain topics around the person. You may feel like you deserve the abuse or that you are to blame. But remember, you are never to blame for someone else's behavior. Domestic violence can increase the risk of developing mental health disorders such as depression, deliberate self-harm, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. If you have a friend or relative who is in an abusive relationship, get some advice if you need to. Talk to the person gently and let them know that you are worried. Don't push the person into talking if they are uncomfortable, but let them know that you are available if they need help.
All right, you're welcome back, Family and Values. Like I said, we're discussing about domestic violence and abusive marriage. And I said I was going to reveal my guest. You get to meet our guest today. And of course, I'm going to start from my right. Is Rafael Malik. He's a data scientist and a social analyst. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
It's good to have you after a very long time.
Well, it's a pleasure being here.
Always a pleasure, yes. Always a pleasure to also have you on the program. And we have Bridget Elese. She's a marriage counselor, a mental health and addiction counselor, Institute of Marriage and Family Affairs, USA. It's good to have you here. You look beautiful. Yes, and of course it's your first time, but I'm sure when I told you, you're like, oh, I love this. This is what I want to discuss about. And that's why, in fact, I'm so happy you're here and you made it despite Lagos happening. Okay, yes, let's get cracking. My first question, I would like to direct this one to Rafael. We have domestic violence and, of course, we have abusive marriage. A lot of people feel it's the same thing because you have to have a domestic violence before you can call it an abuse. But there are different types of abuse, which is vast. But domestic violence is, we all know what it comes by. But some people still don't get the idea of what domestic violence is. They believe it's until you raise your hands, until you beat somebody, that is when you term it as domestic violence. But I think it's a lot more. So I would like to ask, what would you call domestic violence so that people have a better understanding of what it is?
Well, I think you want to look at it from the foundation. What really prompts, develop into violence? Because most of the time you see the crackers, but you don't know what engineered those things.
The cracks.
The silent things that you would do that we ignore. That builds up gap. You are meant to do something for your partner. You didn't do it, you forgot, and the person is building up that notion of why is he or she neglecting me, and when you keep building up, you create a gap. And these are little things that builds up to create that emotion and that gap, and makes you feel like this person is not here, it's not relating. Then the emotions start to build up, and you have things that causes stay away, ignoring, not giving what you should give as a partner. And by the time that the other person is seeing that, it's like, what is happening? I have the right to demand from you what is our right.
Yes.
And when that is not forthcoming, things are building up. And most of the time when you go to counseling, you find out that you can't really pinpoint what actually started the entire issue. And from there you have people raising hands, raising voices. But you see, those are the silent things that I could also call violence, because they are the silent ones that we might not see, we might not observe. But you see, for everybody that's going through that gap and that emotional gap, she's going through something.
Can you make us understand what are those silent signs that could actually bring forth domestic violence in a relationship or a marriage? Can use an example.
There are a lot of them. For example, you have the word I call expectation.
Oh, okay.
You expect him to have done this. You expect her to have done this. I mean, for example, you came home from work, and your wife also go to work, and all your expectations that, oh, my pounded yam is ready as I'm getting home. Forgetting that the same person you expect to pound the yam is also coming from work. You understand? So that expectation is almost like a trigger for a man to raise his voice. Ignore your partner. You understand? I mean, somebody can walk out of the house. How can my food not be ready, and go to another place and look for food?
Yes.
That's like the beginning, the signs.
Okay.
You understand? And when those things are not taken care of, why they are starting, or the little that is starting up, it builds up.
Oh, okay.
It builds up.
All right. Thank you very much, Bridget. I would like to ask, in this aspect, he just explained the silent ones and gave an example, citing an example. Now, the point is, does it mean that some men or women that actually domestically abuse, or they are being violent in their relationship or marriage, might actually probably not be that they are like that, but because of those silent, triggers that were being ignored, now, summed up and turned into something violent? Do you believe that? And if that is, what way should we handle such things?
Okay, I'll just build on what he has said. First of all, I'll just give a simple analogy of what starts, the domestic violence. So if I use ABC, Sometimes it's our attitude to the people. Sometimes it's our beliefs, where we're coming from.
Okay.
And then the C part is communication. You're frustrated, you have expectations, you're not communicating it well. And then lack of self-control. Because you are responsible for yourself first.
Of course.
Self-government is key. So no matter how, like I always tell people, especially men that are abusive, no matter how crazy, some will still fight. How crazy you are, if you're before a military person or you're before somebody that is in uniform, you will control
Of
yourself
course.
because you know what you will go through.
You know what you go through.
You know that you will hit on a defenseless woman. You will slap and do things. So lack of self-control. And then for some people, it's culture. So it's a learned behavior. So sometimes when you see, especially guys, when they were not raised properly. So when you talked about family values, yes, your culture, where you coming from, what's the norm in your home. So if you're used to your dad silencing your mom with a slap, it will be very hard for you not to do the same thing. Except you help yourself, except you go through either therapy or you learn how not to take anger. So that's why I said the attitude can lead to anger. So there's so much to unpack when you say domestic violence, and it's domesticated in the sense that it's somebody you love, somebody you live with. So at the end of the day, it's not something you can get out of to an extent except you call for help. And then some people are used to it. I was still reading something online, and the lady was sharing and saying, oh, this is how her life is, in the sense that she wants to be beaten. So these are people coming from abusive home. They've learned this, and it's okay to be beaten. So we're looking at it from different angles. So there's something fundamentally wrong. This child has been cultured from the home.
Way.
That is, violence is the norm. Some people, if you raise your voice at them, they will look at you scared, like, what is happening? Just raising your voice.
In fact, I will not say this is a genetic trait of, I will say it's hereditary, because you're getting it from your parent, and you know you're,
what you saw. Every child, they say, is born tabula rasa, on a clean slate. So whatever you point to them, as you nurture them, that's what they will come up with.
Now that's a different ball game, because that's a whole lot. I don't want to deal with that. Now we all know it's kind of a mental issue, having to want to be beaten before you can take to corrections. Even an animal would not want to be beaten every time, you know, for it to take corrections. So I don't understand why a human being would want that. Now let's go to the part whereby some women that have core values for themselves, you know, they find themselves in a situation whereby their partner hits them, beats them, or you know, however the domestic violence comes or abuse comes. Now, why is it that they keep going back, returning back to that partner, or why do they keep staying? Like there is no other options or no way to go about it?
I think if we look at the phases of domestic violence, apart from being emotional, you know, it's abuse, it's emotional abuse, it's financial. So some of these women, for example, do not have the financial wherewithal. They don't have money to maybe look at themselves to say, let me take a walk. I can help myself. Then some will think, oh, I can change him. Oh, he did this because I did that. There's no excuse for domestic abuse. There's no excuse. So they always, oh, he will change. Oh, he will. And I've seen cases, like I tell people, because of the work we do, I have people that I work with as well, and as family coaches, family life practitioners, we try to, okay, there's a problem, help. Most times you will tell them, oh, this is where to go to. These are the places to go to. And they'll tell you, okay, the day of that meeting, most times they won't show up. Is either they don't have money, or they say, no, my children are in school, and so
one excuse or the other.
One excuse or the other, because they are now used to the abuse, and they feel, oh, I can cope with it.
Okay, Rafa, I want to ask, okay, fine, you mentioned the silent signs. But I want to know, is there any particular trait or sign or signal, whatever it is, that you notice in an abusive partner? Like, you know, okay, I think my partner is abusive. Are there any things that you see that will alert you?
Oh, are you saying my partner? or from an outsider?
No, like my partner.
Okay,
I met with him. We're dating. We're cutting.
Okay,
Yeah.
why dating?
Yeah. What are those things that I will see that will make me know?
They are.
Okay,
Anyway,
I would like to know.
well, before I go that direction, let me add to what she said. See, the thing about this aspect of culture and the family, building is fathers, that experience could cause a generational issue. When you come from a home that is abusive, you do the same thing, your child do the same thing, and it continues. So my prayer, my fear is, what is the next generation going to be like if they are experiencing such from this, generation of parent? You are going to have issues. You understand? So, but from the same home, you find out that a child that saw that decided never to have that experience in his own home.
Yes, there are some.
Another
like that.
child will look like that is the norm. Understand? So this also comes in the place of the spirituality or a mindset issue, when you're able to have the capacity to decide that I don't believe this is right, and in my home this will not stand. Understand? So that is a very fundamental place that we pray that we find most of the people to come into. When you see such an experience, you decide to say no. This should not be it, and I will not go that route. That is beautiful. And for me, having somebody I'm dating, going out with, there are signs. Even from both ends, there are signs, because you're having a discussion, and for most of the discussion, until you win, before that discussion ends,
every argument, the person must win. Every
discussion tilts to argument because you don't want to let go. You must win that discussion. Those are domineering attitude. So when you see such things, you take caution. You understand? One of my mentors said, if you really want your mentor, counselor, pastor to help you decide or to observe your partner, don't bring the person when you guys have already gone long and you have, you're not saying, what do you think? He said he will tell you it's okay. Because for him, what you should do is, you're going out on a date. Okay, sir, we are on table 6, but I booked table 5 or 7 for you. Just stay there chilling as if you are not there. Please watch us and give your observation. That's a way to go. So when you have the person have seen that, he will tell you whether run for your life
or not,
or try more, or one more date for me to observe more. So that's a way we can guide ourselves, because in that kind of environment, what you might not see, your counselor, your advisor will see.
Will see.
And if there are traits of this person being domineering, not listening, to correction, or not listening to someone to be able to humble yourself, whatever you are doing, you might be blind by the love.
Okay. So the other person will see those things.
Help you, to see those things. They say love is blind, but truly, it is blinding. It is possible. You understand? So that's one way to go. You understand? Because if the person seems to be domineering and some issues comes up, money issue, and the person will not, concur to what you guys are agreeing to.
Yes.
You understand? I must have it this way. My wedding must be grandeur. You are seeing signs, but they might be silent. I say, that's a style. Maybe we can
I've seen what a therapist that came here, and she mentioned something like this, that because the lady wanted, they are actually just, in fact, not even the wedding. That's far. The proposal, the guy just randomly came into the room and designed his room or her room and proposed, and she was like, she accepted. She was telling the therapist now she accepted, but the point is there are no friends. His friends were not there. There is no this camera, this paparazzi. You understand? She was like, that she wants that she has collected the ring. But she wants that drama. If she does not see that drama, she does not think he'll be able to even do the wedding the way she wants it. And that was what made them separate. She was like, I can't go ahead without that. And the man who was stubborn was like, no, I will not do it that way because you are asking to do it that way. And you could see both of them are not even ready to, to listen to each other. So yeah, that's another thing. But you said something. You said, calling someone a mentor to stay at another table. You have another table and you watch. But does it mean that even when you see these signs, you understand, in the partner, Doesn't mean that they can't change. Doesn't mean they can't actually be corrected.
Okay, you see, that is one part that I was also going to add to what she said. The thing is that those signs might be there, and you also ask why people stay in a bad relationship and continue, coming back. The point is that there are possible situations, circumstances that this person might change. No, I have experienced such. I mean, this guy will come home drunk, beat the wife before she sleep, before they go to bed, and all sorts, but she kept praying. Now, when we mention this aspect of spirituality, most of the time it's not well understood and put in a balanced position. She might have her conviction, and she kept praying. Today, the man is a pastor.
Oh, wow.
So, but you can't use that as an example or a standard for everyone.
For everyone, obviously, yes.
You understand? So, those are the things that you need counselors for. Some want to guide you to see the things you can't see, because sincerely, there are potentials in anyone to become better.
Yes.
One of the things that my counselor, mentor will say, this person that has become this, are there things that have actually made the person become change? Like you asked earlier on, what are the things that actually made the person to start throwing such tantrums? Was it like that at the beginning? If it wasn't like that at the beginning, we need to check, to observe what actually built up to make that person become such. So, but if it has been there from the beginning, then that means you didn't see the signs. So, but even when there are signs, if you have someone that is able to listen to a head, I will use the word a head, because if we say the man is the head of the home, the head of the wife, who is the head of the man?
Right. So it's like basically the man should have a mentor.
If the man does not have someone that can cough and the man will bow his head, you are in trouble.
Oh, wow.
And vice versa. So those are your pointers. If you have someone that does not listen to anybody, then you are in for a big challenge.
I want to ask this, Bridget. I think most of the line we've been told is towards the female watching if a man is being abusive. I want to take it to the man's side now. Let's be on the man's side. Do you think men actually go through this domestic violence? And if yes, how? Because I don't actually see. Well, it's possible, but like what do they go through? Actually, I want to know.
A lot. Okay, men are more physically abusive. Women are emotionally and verbally abusive.
Okay.
A lot of women can tear you down
with the words.
1 minute with words. And then there are some people that have like a PhD in the silent treatment. That is emotional abuse.
Wow.
You won't talk to the person. So men do it too. So when you say, we call it malice, but malice is worse. So it's not really malice, it's called the silent treatment. It's emotional abuse. So when somebody is with you in the house and you're quarreling, and then you come, the person is not talking to you, there's a problem. And then the second day, the third day, the fourth day, that's emotional abuse. And then if the temperament of that woman, because there are people that are extroverts, they enjoy talking to people, and then you are that kind of person that, you can stew in your juice and you don't even talk, then the woman is in trouble. So she's emotionally being abused. That's why you see when they have children, the woman will turn her attention to her children and doesn't have time for the man. So that's not right. We're supposed to live together and live well, but you see people just misbehaving, and like I said, it's a learned behavior. What you saw your mom do, what you saw your father do. There are women, I think there was this story then of a child in a church that was called to come and act the part of a mother, and just normal parenting drama. Come and act. The first thing she did was to hold the man's throat, the young boy's throat. You will beat me today, you will beat me today. That was learned from home.
Of course.
So she's already being abusive. This is a young boy probably has never seen that, and somebody is holding you to your throat.
Wow.
So you will understand the impact this has on people. I'm for praying, but like I always tell people, pray from afar. Separate before you die. Because you are better off alive.
Yes, that's dead. I'm telling you seriously.
So your life, you're better off alive. He will get help.
Yes.
And sometimes when people come to me, oh, I want to coach. You can have the money to pay for, but are you coachable? Are you trainable?
Yeah.
When you listen, in the multitude or multiple of counsel, there's wisdom. Will you listen? So don't waste my time. My time is my life. So when you come to me, and you know, this is no. That's why I'm big now on premarital education. So we will see the signs. What are the things? What are his temperaments? What are our temperaments? What are those things we need to look at? But interestingly, young people believe they know it all. They go to school for 6 years, go to secondary school, that's primary school, 6 years.
6 years.
Then they want to marry an institution that will form your life, that will add value to you. They refuse to do premarital counseling. They will rather, just like what you said now, oh, it's the serene, as they say, it's the paparazzi that they want. You've not thought of, how do I get this person to meet a counselor? How do I pay for because you go to school for how many years? Then you want to marry, you feel, and you just love is enough. What? Because all those signs, we've had to tell people, you know what, even if you can marry, you need to go through some personal classes to know that you're in a good place, because you're coming from a different place. But most people say, no, I know it all. And then 3 months down the line, they're on social media, killing themselves and putting all sorts
of things online.
You saw some of these things, but you wanted the wedding, you wanted the 1-point-something million dress, you wanted to take, but to pay for a counselor to teach you and go through, it's a problem. To have a mentor is a problem.
I think even at that point, when you tell someone you need a mentor and the person is telling you, I don't need it, that is already a problem. Because if you don't need to learn,
I don't waste my time. I always tell people, if you're not coachable, you're not trained. Only sick people come to the doctor, right? But when you are wise, you don't have to be sick to go to a doctor. Do a checkup.
Yes.
Whether you're married, oh, my home is good. I've seen people that say, oh, my home is beautiful. I'm like, okay, let's just run an assessment on you, and then you will see.
Oh,
your home is not as beautiful as you. So it's when you prevent it, you do a marital checkup, you will see some of those things. You catch it on time. So this one that will rage when there's no food, there's a problem. He learns it from somewhere. What stops you? I always tell people, men especially, yes, it's our culture for a woman to be a nurturer, to be a cook. But there are so many fantastic chefs that are not women, they are men. They cook better than women. So what stops you from cooking? What stops you from starting something? No, let's not get there. He's looking at me. Let's not get there. You can boil water, you can boil rice, you can eat something.
Mr. Abel, I hope you are not the typical African. I don't think you are.
I'm sure he helps his wife at home. I know that.
Well, if I may add to that, there was a day I actually cooked for the family, and I was surprised when she came back from work. You know, I wanted to add to that point that she actually mentioned. You see, truly men can be abused.
Always, I wanted to add to it, but since you're
various ways. I mean, the silent one and the tearing apart is the major. You know, when the scripture says they are both naked to each other and they are not ashamed, the point is not whether you are wearing dress or not. It's the fact that I have my secrets with you. I'm not ashamed that it's in your hands.
It's in your hands.
I'm not fearful that when we have a little issues, we throw it out into the public. You understand? So those are places of abuse. When I cannot trust you with my secret, and when I have given to you, I am afraid that, you know, when it happens, you spill it everywhere. You know, that silent part can come from anywhere, any side, but it's one of the most dangerous.
Wow.
One of the most deadly abuse. You would think nothing is happening. That silence, it enters into every fabric of the home. The children will feel it, especially the children.
The children?
Especially the children. I mean, how will a child say to you that, I mean, I don't understand, my father will not talk to my mom for 3 weeks. A child saying that. So you can understand.
You can imagine
how it's going, because even the child too will be afraid to approach you.
Of course, yes.
If you are not so communicating with her mom or his mom, you understand? You'll be afraid to approach you. I mean, if they need something, so most of the time they'll go to the mom first. The mom say, go and meet your dad.
It can happen because there's no communication between the both of them.
You understand? So that gap, that silence goes so loud in the entire home that it creates a very unsuitable atmosphere in the house. And that's one thing that I really dread most of the time in my own home. The context of my home is joy and love. So if those two definitions are missing, I'm checking where it's coming from.
Where's it coming from?
If my partner is on the edge and shouting on the children, I look at that very well. Is anything happening at work? Are you under any pressure? I want to check so that I don't add to it. We don't overflog the issue on the children because there's pressure somewhere. Let's keep a balance. Understand? And those are the small things that the children also watch. Let's keep a balance to be sure that we are not building something that will go out of hand.
Yes, that will become so huge that you probably might not be able to control anymore. This discussion is very hot. I'm feeling it. You said something very, very interesting behind the camera while we're on break. You said most men go through abuse more than the women, and you came from this angle of before a man sometimes hits you, you would have said a lot of things, that would have provoked him, given the silent treatment or something, and he's putting it under control, and the next thing is he could not take it more, so he hits you just to keep you quiet. Now, that is one thing which I hope every woman is understanding. The way we talk when we are angry, me and we agree because, the things we say to men, oh my word. Sometimes when you're hearing couples fighting and you see the words the woman is throwing at them, I'll be like, hey, so that man is like this. Oh, so that man is, some secrets that the way I've seen that man is so, I was thinking, when the partner like, oh, so you're like this. You understand? Because at that point, the wife has said a whole lot. And even gets to some points that when the woman is throwing those words at the man, because there's been hitting, there has been all of that, you find that he doesn't even say anything. He just probably pick his car keys and you see him drive off. Which I think is very, very bad for that marriage. But of course, I'm not a counselor to tell them anything. I'm not even married, so I can't even do that. So I'll just respect myself. Now, to wrap up the program, let me ask this. What are the effects of this abuse on the children and, of course, on the partners? The effect, I know it has a lot of effect on the children, but I want us to start with how it affects the partner and, of course, to the children. Let me start with you.
I would have loved that to start because my focus is the children.
Okay.
Because the sincere truth is that you both are adults. Whatever you have chosen to engage in, you will definitely reap the result. You understand? So in fact, the effect is vast. It could affect your whole business, your whole life, your whole career, and it could go down the drain because you are emotionally imbalanced to even go to work. You're emotionally imbalanced to have a proper thinking process to be able to take accurate decisions. And that could go wide into every area of your life. But I'm always concerned for the children, how that impacts so much on them. In the part that we have even mentioned, how it even triggered them to do the same in their home. In the fact that it emotionally affect them and their growing and their development. You see some children are so quiet in their entire whatever they are. You know is what they've been seeing and experiencing at home. When you go through the silent treatment and everybody everywhere is so loud but silent, they carry that everywhere. You understand? So the emotional aspect for the children is so much that it affects their entire development. It affects their education, it affects their career, it affects their self-esteem, and they are not so bold and confident outside. When some children are talking and chatting, oh, my daddy did this, my daddy did this, they are like that, and you can't say a word, and it's so demeaning for them. So for the adult, it's undescribable. It is undescribable, and I think it's the earlier one start to manage it with cancer, the better, because when violence starts, you want to manage it well, but the moment life is threatened, it is better to stay as apart. I want to use the word separate. You're not separated, you're not divorced, but stay apart. Let's see if the cloud can be cleared a little bit before coming back to see what is really happening and what can be done. So that life
can be saved. Yes. Now, in fact, you're going towards where I want to use to actually wrap up, which is the last question. I promise. Is what advice will you give to people going through domestic violence or people that have been abused in their relationship or marriage? what is the advice that you think? No, you said something. Sometimes you advise these persons and they will still not listen because they have what they have in their head. But still, the ones that are listenable, the ones that are teachable, what advice will you give to them?
Okay, he just said something about separation. I'm not saying get a divorce. Don't stay in the same place where there's drama. If it's becoming serious, life is threatened, whether verbally, life is threatened physically, when they start choking you or doing something, holding a weapon, please flee. Not just run, flee. Run, stay, go somewhere safe and get help. Then 2, for women, I'll beg women, please get something doing, no matter how small. You can work from home, because some of the things that abusers do is intimidation financially. So once you don't have money, you can't even buy a pad for yourself. That's a problem. You are already abusing yourself because you don't like yourself enough to take care of you. Because like I always say, but the man is not a sponsor. Even if you want to be in a home and you're a full-time housewives are working and becoming millionaires. So you can be at home and still do the work that will bring money and you're contributing. Because here we don't recognize that when you're a full-time housewife, you even do more work. So imagine you paying the woman full-time for hours, because there's no sleeping, there's no waking. So most men will say, what value are you adding for getting your food prepared? If you hire a chef, that's money you're paying. Getting your clothes dry cleaned, if you get a dry cleaner, that's money that you will not pay her, and you still expect her to be a lioness in bed. She's not good enough because she's tired and you can't help her because you are lord of the house. Lord of the ring. You understand what I'm saying? So women, add value to yourself. Self-love is key. Love yourself enough to treat yourself well so that others will not treat you like trash. So when the man knows you love yourself, he will know how to run his mouth. He will know how to talk to you anyhow. And then what are you contributing? He needs to be reminded, you're a full-time housewife. I'm not a slave. I'm not saying I don't do women empowerment, because there is what we call toxic feminism. Yes, of course. God is a feminist. He made us equal. But in marriage, there's no equality in the sense that there is a head. So you come to that, and when you have 2 heads, you have a monster.
There's a problem.
There's a problem. You get me? So as a woman, please learn respect. And respect means different things to different people. So a man can like, oh, my special cup, my special chair. Another person is, no, don't do anything special. Just let me know what you are up to, what you need, and all of that. When you're talking to me, talk to me respectfully. Even children want to be spoken to respectfully. So not shout as if you're talking to your boy. Even if you are older than your husband, still treat him with respect. He's your head. So if you get to the office, you have a Gen Z and you are a Methuselah, you will still say, sir, or you will still greet and talk properly. So don't talk of your husband at home. So sometimes we give so much respect to pastors, to leaders, but to our husband is nothing. And then the comparison, let's stop it.
Compare one man to another.
You didn't marry that person. You don't know what that person's life is like.
Exactly.
Same thing with the woman. She goes to the office, she's well packaged, doing how they say it, you know, doing all the alcohol and everything, and you think she's the best. Your wife at home, you neglect. Not even a kind word. Not even something nice to say, you're trying, thank you so much. That's where the abuse starts from. Ingratitude. You not being grateful for what you have. Intimidation. Recognizing what you have. The money, intimidating her. Oh, I won't pay school fees. If you like, and you have the money, you go out and spend, buy drinks for your friends. Your home is suffering. Oh, I won't give you money to eat. You eat outside.
Sorry to interject, you continue. I just remembered where a colleague was saying a story about someone who's a banker but gives the wife with, I think, maybe 4 children or 3 children or even 5 children 1,000 naira per day to feed. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, if you're giving the person 1,000 naira per day, okay, fine, cool. Let's say you are stingy like that. Why not gather the money together? In a month, it's like 30,000 or 31,000, and give it to her. And watch her. She might even start a business with that money and start making little gain. And before you know, she's probably even a business owner. Because I know women are they can be very good like that, industrious, yes. So, but that is another problem now, which you also mentioned. But I just need to put in that because with everything said and done, the man's excuse is she does not know how to manage money. She doesn't know how to manage money, but you give her 1,000 naira and she feeds, and you still come home and ask for dinner.
There can't be dinner. That's a wicked person. There can't be dinner.
I'm not expecting such a person
No,
to
there
come
can't
home
be. There can't be
for
dinner.
He is expecting a dinner.
How? With 1,000, even if it was those days.
And I'm thinking that's a friction story. So
Yeah.
it can't be real.
No, it's real. Like,
No,
compound
so that
person.
mean-
No,
It's real.
that guy needs to be checked. No, I'm just being sincere.
But
Not
what he's telling her is go get something doing.
maybe.
That's probably what he's saying.
So-
get something doing, add a bit
So
of.
maybe there are some things that
Yes.
they discussed that is not,
So
done
that
yet.
1,000. So
There's a
the
lot.
thing is you cope with it. You end
There's
up
a
with
lot
mama
in
puts.
that.
Maybe keep his portion, whatever. If it's 200 naira rice or whatever we're buying, this one we eat 200, 150 like that. Keep his own. When he comes, take this and you do go eat.
Morning, afternoon, and night.
Yes, because no, that's a once a day formula. They can't eat 3 times. They can't do 3 square meals.
It's not
It's
even
once a
possible.
day formula, and they will survive. It's
but-
once a day.
Well, I don't know. I just wanted to add this to
Okay.
what she has mentioned. You see, that aspect of financial, especially having the full housewife. The thing is, that's the highest job in the world that is
Yeah.
not appreciated.
Underpaid.
Not even appreciated.
Yes.
You understand? Because I mean, if you're going to hire a caretaker to take
Yeah.
care of your children, to be at the standard you want, you know you pay through your nose. You understand? I mean, somebody is managing lives. The basic thing she has mentioned, you can pay people to do all those ones, but to manage life, with true value, not abusing those children while you are taking care of them.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Those are the things you can't pay for. You know, those are the values that we overlook, that you are just at home doing nothing. I mean, how can you say such thing to a woman that is managing lives, that is in the home? You know, that is the most precious thing for me. So, among other things that, you know, the person is taking care of the home, is managing the everything, those lives.
What matters. Okay, at this point we'll say wrap up the show. I really learned a whole lot, especially from the part of the children and of course from the part of men actually being abused without women knowing that, you know, we are abusing them. It's so amazing, I must say. Mr. Raphael, thank you so much for being on the
Always a
program.
pleasure.
I really learned a lot. You're all about the children today, and I love that because we're usually more about the partner, but you know, sometimes we have to also impute it and infuse our children into, yes, because they are the future of tomorrow. Somebody will say, they're always telling us we're the leaders of tomorrow, we're the leaders of tomorrow. Even now, I'm not a leader. What am I leading? But that's not what we're here for. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Bridget, for coming. It's been an amazing one with you. A first time, but no, this is a goal, I must say. It's a real
First
goal.
time with you, not first time in this.
Yes, no, first time with me, yes, first time with me. Okay, all right, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on Family and Values. It's been an interesting one. I know you learned something somehow. And if you're one of those persons that find it hard to listen, like she said, you need a counselor. You need to talk to somebody. You need somebody to teach you how you can actually learn something. It is not inborn. It is not genetic. It is something hereditary. Your environmental issues could be part of why you do not listen. So I'm not saying get some help like you're sick. No, talk to somebody. I think that will help a whole lot. And at this point, I also thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rose Blossom. It will be next week again when you have Family and Values on your screen to learn more. Have a beautiful weekend. Happy New Month, and bye for now.